Does the Gospel of Yeshua start in the Old Testament? Romans 1, verse 1 and 2. I hear many Christians say that the Gospel of Yeshua starts in the New Testament, starting with the book of Matthew. But where does Paul say the Gospel start? Let's take a look. Let's read Romans 1, verse 1 and 2. Paul, a bondservant of Yeshua Messiah, called to be an apostle, separated to the Gospel of Elohim, which he promised before through his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. Paul said, the gospel was promised through the prophets in the Holy Scriptures. First of all, what were the Holy Scriptures to Paul? In the first century, the only writings seen as the Holy Scriptures were the law and the prophets, as some Christians call the Old Testament. So already we see that the Holy Scriptures that mention the gospel, which Paul speaks on, starts with the law and the prophets. One of the prophets in the Torah that talks about the gospel of Yeshua is Moses. Yeshua said that the prophet Moses spoke of him, which means Moses spoke of the gospel. John 5, verse 46. For if you believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote about me. So, it's safe to say that Paul included the prophet Moses as being part of the gospel, which again, he considered part of the Holy Scriptures. The gospel of Yeshua starts with the Torah, Genesis to Deuteronomy, which means the New Testament did not and cannot replace the Old Testament. For the Torah is part of the gospel. Not only part of the gospel, but the foundation of the gospel. Hallelujah. So let's answer these questions. Does the gospel start in the Old Testament? The answer is yes. The gospel of Yeshua starts with the writings of Moses. Which leads us to the next question. Does the New Testament replace the Old Testament? The answer is no. Paul is proving this in Romans 1, verse 1 and 2. You can't have the full and complete gospel of Yeshua without starting in the law, the writings of Moses. Hallelujah. Please share your comments below. Thank you and shalom.